I used to run a small urban exploration blog. Nothing crazy, just me and my camera, documenting abandoned places. Old factories, empty schools, forgotten diners. I loved the silence, the decay, the stories these buildings left behind. But the place that ended it all was Hillridge Hospital. It was a psychiatric hospital that closed down in the early 90s after a fire in one of the wings. No confirmed deaths, but rumors said otherwise. Patients allegedly vanished. Staff walked off shifts and never came back. The city boarded it up, and it sat untouched for almost 30 years. A friend of mine sent me the location and dared me to explore it. Said no one had ever gotten more than a few photos inside before the place did something to them. I thought it was just urban legend nonsense. I wish it was. I arrived just after 5 p.m., just before sunset. The gates were rusted open, and vines wrapped around the entrance sign like skeletal fingers. Everything about the place felt heavy. Like the air itself didn't want me there. Inside, it was exactly what I expected: peeling paint, cracked tile, overturned stretchers. My flashlight flickered as I stepped over old medical charts scattered on the floor. I made my way through a hallway marked West Ward. My camera battery was full. I snapped a few photos of graffiti, broken floor stands, and a dusty wheelchair sitting in the middle of a corridor. When I checked the photo preview on my camera, the wheelchair wasn't there. Just an empty hallway. I looked up. The wheelchair was still sitting in front of me. I took another picture. Still not in the photo. I chalked it up to bad lighting or exposure settings. I kept walking. About 30 minutes in, I started to notice the doors. Each room had a patient name on a placard. Some scratched out. Others written in what looked like red marker. One door simply said, "Stay out." I didn't listen. Inside, the room was cold, way colder than the hallway. The windows were all sealed shut. In the center of the room was a rusted metal bed frame. And strapped to the bed were leather restraints, still buckled. I took a picture. When I checked the preview, something made my stomach drop. There was a person lying in the bed. Pale. Eyes closed. Wearing a hospital gown. But the room was empty. I looked back. Nothing on the bed. Just dust and cracked leather. I deleted the photo. Kept moving. In the east wing, I found a nurse's station. Smashed monitors. Faded clipboards. But one paper caught my eye. It was a daily log sheet. Dated August 14, 1993. The final entry, written in shaky handwriting, read, "She's awake now. We should have left her alone." I heard footsteps. I turned and saw no one. Then, a voice. Very soft. Almost like it was inside my head. "Why are you in my room?" I spun around. Nothing. But the hallway felt darker than before. Longer. Wrong. I walked back the way I came, but everything looked different. The doors were shut now. The wheelchair was gone. My flashlight started flickering again. The battery was fine, but the light stuttered like it was dying. Then I heard it. A metal clanging. Like a bed being dragged across the floor. Closer. Closer. I ran. Turned corners I didn't recognize, past doors I hadn't seen before. I ended up back in that same room. The one with the bed. Only this time. The restraints were unbuckled. I didn't take another photo. I bolted for the exit, but the door I came through was sealed. Welded shut. Panic set in. My heart was racing. I started pounding on the metal, screaming. That's when the light came back. Flickering above me. Fluorescence. Power that shouldn't exist in this place. And I heard her. A whisper. Inches from my ear. "You saw me." I blacked out. When I came to, it was morning. I was lying on the front steps of the hospital. Camera still in hand. I drove home in silence. I tried to forget it. Convince myself I imagined the whole thing. Until I looked at the photos on my computer. Every image inside that hospital was completely black. Except for one. The last shot I took. The bed. Only this time. She wasn't lying on it. She was standing beside it, facing the camera, smiling, and her eyes were wide open. I never went back. I never posted the photos. I shut down my blog the same week. Because I know what I saw. And I know she saw me, too. And now, sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night. Not because of nightmares, but because I hear a soft voice near my bed. Why are you in my room? It's been 6 weeks since I stepped into Hillridge Hospital. I never went back. I deleted the photos. Shut down my blog. Blocked anyone who asked about that building. But none of it worked. Because she followed me home. At first, I thought I was just shaken. Seeing things. Hearing things. That happens when you're stressed, right? The first night back, I couldn't sleep. I kept hearing the same soft voice I heard in that room. Why are you in my room? It was faint. Almost like I imagined it. But then I saw the bedroom door. It moved. Just an inch. Like someone was gently pushing it shut. I lived alone. The next day, I taped the door open. I even set up my camera again, desperate to prove I was imagining it. But the footage went black at exactly 3:17 a.m. When it came back, the door was closed. And someone, was standing at the foot of my bed. Just for a second. Then gone. I tried to leave town. Took a weekend trip, stayed at a motel 3 hours away. First night there, I fell asleep without issue. But I woke up cold. Not cold like the room. Cold like something was inside me. And when I turned on the bathroom light, the mirror was fogged up. There were words written in the steam. You left the door open. I threw up in the sink. I went back home the next morning. I was too afraid to stay anywhere else. The next few days were quiet. I started to believe it might be over. Then, around 2 a.m., my phone buzzed. Unknown number. No message. Just a photo. I didn't recognize it at first, until I realized it was me. Asleep. Taken from inside my room. I threw my phone across the room. Grabbed my keys. I was going to a hotel, didn't care how far, how expensive. When I opened the door to leave, she was standing in the hallway. Same pale skin. Same hospital gown. But her eyes, they weren't empty anymore. They were angry. She didn't move. She didn't speak. Just stared. I slammed the door shut. Barricaded it. Sat on the floor for hours, shaking. When I finally opened the door again, she was gone. But she's not gone. She's just closer now. She doesn't appear in photos anymore. Or videos. She doesn't need to. Now, I hear her inside the house. Walking. Dragging something soft across the floor. Sometimes I smell the hospital disinfectant. Sometimes I hear the restraints buckle. But the worst part? She doesn't say, "Why are you in my room?" anymore. Now she says, "This is our room." And last night, I woke up strapped to my own bed. My hands. My ankles. Tied with something rough. When I blinked through the panic, I saw her face above mine. Closer than ever. Smiling. She leaned in and whispered, "You saw me. Now they will see you." I woke up free. But my phone was open. My front camera on. And live streaming. The stream had been running for 4 minutes before I woke up. Thousands of people had watched me sleep. And in the comments, someone wrote, "Who's the woman standing in the corner?"